Hey, look at that. Good morning, everybody. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police constable with the Toronto Police Service here in Ontario, Canada. I need to flip the screen here there we go, on TikTok, where we're getting things underway. And to everyone who is watching and tuning in or watching on rebroadcast, this is Ask a Traffic Cop. And we are talking about traffic and police questions on TikTok. And for those of you who are watching on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, any social media platform that we're hanging out on, which is, where else are we? We're on Twitch, we're on LinkedIn, yeah, we're everywhere. So let's go. Let's get into things. So welcome to everyone. Happy Wednesday. It's the middle of the week for most people. It's my second day in because we had the holiday Monday, and tomorrow's my last day for the week because we have a short week this week. And what are we doing? We're answering your questions. So if you have questions, drop them in the comments below. If you're in Twitter, if you're on YouTube, you can do the same because our chat is live. So if you're watching online, feel free to drop on there. And Q, did your camera situations come together? Q's going to be joining me hopefully if the camera issues are resolved. But we'll come back to Q in a second. Will, good morning, Mr. Will. Good morning from you and right back at you. We got Loading, who's back and claims to be my favorite person. How have I been? I've been doing well. How have you been? This is the person with the burble. They got a burble on their car. They're burbly. Is it true about G2 passing without G road test? No, there's no truth in that I'm aware of at this point. I say that I'm aware of because you never know. Things are coming. There's lots of rumors, but to the best of my knowledge, your G2 still needs a road test to get your G, and you still need a road test to get your G2 from a G1 because that's what it's all about. It's about knowing that you are capable of driving and not just guessing. So whether that's good news or bad news for you, I don't know. But yeah, you got to take a test still. And if there is a change, expect it to be everywhere in the media. And we got the thumbs up from Q, who's currently not signed in as Q. Your name is other than Q. Q. Let's see here. Is it legal to tint your taillights? Not only is it not legal, but it's not smart. And I mean that with the most love that I can provide. You don't want to make it so other drivers don't know what you're about to do. Taillights, warn people when you're about to slow down. If you don't effectively do that, they end up running into you, and then it becomes your fault if you've modified your lights. You have, hey, I see you waving even if you're off screen. Don't think I can't see you, Q. Q's making faces at me, but she's not on screen on YouTube yet, so it's just it's the green room view. In any case, yeah, it says you have to have taillights that are discernible at 150 meters. Now, I've had different opinions shared. I've had people say it's totally illegal, and I've had people say, well, it's legal if they're effective at a certain point. So you take a risk when you do that. I would suggest, moving the bag out of my way, I would suggest not doing it because for safety and to avoid any potential issues with enforcement, because you could find yourself being ticketed because there's a level of interpretation. Hey, Q's back. Okay. So, yeah.
I got a ticket in 2019 downtown, and it's been 2 years. I didn't fight it, and I didn't pay for it. What should I do?
You didn't fight it, and you didn't pay for it in 2 years. Well, if you're an Ontario driver and you were ticketed and you did nothing, you've been convicted. It's on your record. It's done. If you don't pay it, you probably won't be permitted to renew your driver's license. So that's a problem. If you, there's always a possibility that there was a mix-up and you didn't get charged and you didn't get convicted. But at the end of the day, you need to assume that you were convicted in your absence or by way of not communicating a response. So what I would suggest you do is check with the MTO, check your driver's record. If you don't have it on your record, you're probably okay and you probably got lucky. But I would assume that it is either pending or against your license right now.
Correction. Points are gone, but still on record. I actually paid it. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So, sorry. Now let's rephrase the question. What is the question?
Points are gone, but is it still on record?
Okay. So after 2 years, your points come off, and after 3 years, your current record comes off. But it does last for the rest of your driving career on your long form driver's abstract, which includes everything you've ever done from the day you got licensed in the first place. So if you ever want to go and find out everything that has ever been against you, you would get a driver's abstract. And when police pull you over, we can see everything roadside from the day you got licensed. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see here. We got a statement from Mason Trevor. It says, thank you, but I don't know what you're thanking me for. But you're welcome, I guess. Penalty for going under the speed limit. Under the speed limit doesn't mean that you're going to get a ticket. It depends really on how much under the speed limit. Are you impeding traffic? Is everyone being slowed down unreasonably because you're going for no reason under the speed limit? Then you could be charged with unnecessary slow driving. I don't recall what the price is on that ticket. I think it's $110, but it's a thing. So it's not a common thing because generally speaking, you don't have to go the speed limit if you're in the right lanes. If you're in the passing lanes, you might find yourself being charged on a highway situation, or I should say a freeway or expressway. But if you're on a city street, there's nothing saying that you can't go below reasonably. If cops can see everything, why ask if we have gotten tickets before? That's a good question. Very often we're asking you questions to establish whether or not you are you. If you don't have an understanding of your history, you may not be the person that you're claiming to be. So part of our investigation is to ask those discussions. And also, it's part of a deeper dive. We want to know if you're being honest with us. If you say, yeah, I got a ticket, now I say we. I want to know when I ask. If I say, have you had any tickets recently? And you say no, and then I go, look, well, you lied to me. Now I'm not going to give you that warning or reduction that I may have. So being honest is a big thing. Okay. Can we use old winter tires? Can you? Well, if they're safe and still good, depends on how old, because rubber gets hard. They don't work as well as they were designed to when they were new. So rubber does lose some of its elasticity over time. They get hard. Take it to a mechanic or a tire shop to have them evaluated, and they will probably be able to give you an idea as to whether or not they're still good. Assuming you trust them, because someone might say, you need new ones when you don't need new ones. So get someone you trust. Okay. We got Ryan Pinn. Saw a Ford truck that had 6 stock headlights. Is this legal? Assuming the bottom 2 were foggies. Great question from Ryan. I wonder what it is out by you, but in Ontario, you can have a maximum of 4 headlights currently active, that are projecting light over 300 candela forward. So if 2 of the lights are fogs and they're not active, and you have 2 headlights facing, as long as only 4 are totally operational at one time, I would say those are legal. Having them physically installed isn't an issue, because some of them are off-road lights, but active lights projecting powerful projector lights at one time, 4 in Ontario. G2 license, how many speeding tickets to lose it? It's not just speeding tickets and accumulation of points. I did a video on this a while back, and you can go and check it out. There's details about the thresholds. I don't recall it offhand. I had the notes in front of me when I made the video. But essentially, when you accumulate points, you get to a certain threshold, you get a letter in the mail saying, please be a better driver, and then you hit the next threshold and you lose it. And there's fewer points for a G2 or a learning driver than it is for a fully licensed driver. I think a fully licensed driver is 15 points before your license is revoked. And it's less, and I don't. Brandon, do you recall how many points before you're suspended for a G2?
I don't.
He's going to look it up. We'll come back to you. My ACZ plastic card, it's been 2 months. I don't know what your question is. I'm assuming you renewed or got your ACZ plastic. I don't know what your question is. I don't know if you didn't receive it or if you received it, and I don't know what your question is. So Daniel, please let me know what you're actually asking me. Can I drive alone on a G1? Absolutely not. G1 is very specifically a license that only allows you to be escorted or supervised by a fully licensed driver who has a G license and 4 years of experience. Their license has to be their experience is considered to have started when they get their G2. So if they had 2 years as a G2 and 2 years as a G, they're good to supervise you. If you drive it on G1 alone, you are looking to get a ticket for drive unaccompanied. The person who lent you their car or allowed you to operate that vehicle could get a ticket for permitting you to do it. If you didn't have permission, you could be charged criminally for take vehicle without consent. And in the event of a collision, you can be, first of all, you're not insured. A G1 driver is not insured without a supervising driver. Let's see here. Okay. What is the 6 demerit points for a G2 suspension according to Q? Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Ryan Pinn follows up and says that the tires have an expiration date. If they're past their date and you're in a crash, insurance company may not cover. Good to know. Okay. Oh, I don't know which queue this is because Brandon logged in, but he logged in and has not changed his name. So that message may or may not have come from Q. It may have come from Brandon. Okay. We got another question about tinting rear taillights. They have to be discernible at 150 meters, and you may be making yourself very, very liable for any collision that you cause because people didn't see your taillights if they're not effectively working to standard. So are they illegal to tint? Possibly, and yes, you can be charged, and you'd have to then articulate what's going on. And by the way, 427 people in the room. Welcome to all of you. If you don't know who I am, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police constable with the Toronto Police Service here in Ontario, Canada. I answer your traffic and police questions most weekdays. And if you got something you want to ask, feel free to drop it in the Q&A. That gets to me. If you drop it in the regular chat, I'm not watching it. That is really our moderators who are helping out there. We have a bunch of fantastic volunteers, including Brandon, my partner in the office, at least till the end of this week. He's in here, and he's a police constable who's answering questions. We've got Q and a whole bunch of folks who are in there. We've got, I should go and start getting a list. I'm going to get credits to scroll at the end of this at the show to thank everyone who's a moderator. They're volunteers. They're not police officers. They are here because they love what we do and they believe in the message that we're sharing, which is education. So thanks you to them. And please don't spam or mistreat our moderators because they're here to keep it classy. They're helping us do what we do. And if it wasn't for them, and she really wants me to, Q really wants me to tell you to double tap that screen to show some likes to the channel so we bring more people in from TikTok. It helps to tell TikTok that we're doing something good in here. So if you double tap that screen, it's a like and it's much appreciated. Just to let you know, we're not only on TikTok right now, but we're also simulcasting on what do we got here? We've got LinkedIn, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So if you're on any one of those platforms, you're able to watch, and you can actually see Q right now, who's showing hearts to the world. And Q has been helping out not only in my ear, but on screen. It's an interesting development. We started this off as a sort of a behind-the-scenes look at what we were doing, and now it's become a thing. And yeah, she helps out to bring important information from the chat room that isn't getting into the Q&A, possibly because you don't have the right technology. If you're logged in by a computer, you may not have access to the Q&A screen. Q's helping out. She's bringing in your message and making sure I hear it. Okay, how long a G2 expire full G test done? I'm going to interpret that as to how long do you have to have your G2 before you can take your G? I think that's what you're asking me. And if that is the case, the answer is 12 months. You have to be... you have to be 8 months if you've got a course to get your G2, 12 months if you don't have your course to get a G2, and once you have your G2 waiting for your G, you have to wait 12 months. So that is the answer for that. Question from the chat is, can you be fined for a loud exhaust that's OEM? Yes, you can. Unnecessary or unreasonable noise being produced by your vehicle, whether it be your exhaust OEM based on behavior change or defect. So if you're revving for no reason just to be cool, that could be a ticket for unnecessary or unreasonable noise. And your stereo, your horn, all of those things that are unnecessary or unreasonable, depending on the wording, you can be charged, and you can, and it's a $110 fine. Let's see here. Will your car be impounded if a non-licensed driver drives your car? Will it be impounded? Possibly, depending on the situation. If it's impaired, yes, it would. If they're stunt driving, yes, it would. If they are simply unlicensed, no. They may have to tow it. It depends. They would try and contact you as the owner. It's a bad situation, though. And if you let them drive your car, you would be charged for allowing an unlicensed driver to drive your car. Additionally, if they took it without permission, then they would be charged criminally or could be charged criminally for that. Let's see here. We have a Mark Anthony in YouTube coming in. Are the yellow speed limit signs on highway ramps suggested limits or the actual speed limit? They are suggested. They are limits that are set based on the engineer's input to basically say what's safe so you don't slide off that ramp. So would we ticket you? I don't think we do very much, and we don't do it, but I don't think that the OPP do on-ramp speed measurement. But it would be silly of you to speed on those.
So including those like orange or yellow speed limit signs, what about the ones that are by construction speed limit signs?
Construction zones different. Those are construction zones are regulated. You do have to reduce your speed for those, and it can be enforced. In fact, the fines are doubled in those areas. Okay. Are aftermarket turbos in your car illegal. Modifications are not by virtue of being modifications illegal. You can put a turbo kit in your car, to the best of my knowledge. You can modify things as long as they meet safety. So the mechanic still has to ensure that it's a safe install, it's a safe system that still conforms to safety requirements. Beyond that, simply having a car that has a performance improvement does not make it illegal. Construction zone on weekends, speed limit. Construction zones, if the workers are present, is the issue in terms of doubling the fines. What is this question? Do I need an AZ license to... I don't know what this is. Okay. Have you ever got a ticket in your life? Jacob wants to know. Yes, I have. When I was 16, I ran a stop sign. Didn't even see it. New driver, made an oopsie-doo, and yeah, I don't think I had anything since then. May have had one speeding ticket also in the same range when I was 16. Let's see here. Are motorcycles with loud exhausts exempt? No. If you actually in the city of Toronto, if your motorcycle produces more than 92 decibels of sound at idle, it's a bylaw offense in addition to any HTA offense. So no, there's no exemption. Unnecessary noise is unnecessary noise. Shunt means moving trailers on private property. So do I need an AZ license to move trailers around on private property? Private property, as long as stunt driving isn't included, driving on private property does not require a license because we don't enforce that. That particular offense can't be laid on private property with under the HTA. So hopefully that answers that. Let's see here. Just want to thank you for your updates. That's from Janice. You're very welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying them. Is exhaust illegal? Exhausts are required, not just legal. They are absolutely required piece of equipment. Without them, it would be illegal. So hang on one second here. I got a wire that is tangled, and I want to make sure my power cord is away from my audio cord. Okay, there we go. Exhausts are required equipment. Illegal exhaust or a lack of exhaust is illegal. Can a trucker report for passing too close in front? Anyone can report anything, but reporting it doesn't necessarily mean charges will be laid. Dash cam is great, but for a third-party report, we need to see and identify the driver for that type of thing. Can we write you a letter and say your vehicle was seen at this date and time, and it was doing dangerous things amongst a truck, and here's some safety tips? Yeah, we can do that. But charges are generally not laid simply on a report, but you can report them. And also because it's a report, it would be tied to the vehicle. So if you were involved in a collision later and you had been cutting off trucks and, here's a pattern of behavior, it could go against you. Neil from YouTube is saying good morning. Let's see here. What it was, I don't know, but if I answered question before and you also stated normal, good. Okay, and Ryan, it was right at the... Okay. QA is getting spammed. Oh, that's not good. Muffler frequently pops have taken in 3 times. The dealer says it's normal. Mark, occasional pops isn't a problem. When people modify their mixture to create pops unnecessarily, it's a problem. And some cars do have some level of burble or pop, and occasional isn't a problem. When it's ridiculous and out of control and flames and things like that, that's bad. Do I think that concealed carry will ever be a thing here? No, I don't think it will. I don't think it's a climate or a thing that Canada is interested in. If I can't get a G test before my license expires, Janice, depends on when your license expires. If you expire, if your G2 expires anytime before December 31st, 2022, which is the new extension. So if it expires tomorrow, you're extended until December 31st, 2022. So you got some time. So keep trying and try all the time, because day and night people are getting tests only a few weeks away. It happens. Problem is, it's first come, first serve. If there's an opening, someone jumps into it, and it's almost like buying a lottery ticket at this point. There are attempts from the ministry to make sure that available dates are added, but as soon as they get added, people grab them. So it's a matter of persistence. Why are new driving laws invasive private property? criminal code has always covered private property. There have been certain sections of the HTA that have always covered private property, like the obligation to report a collision on private property, or to prevent you from concealing or what is the term? Preventing you from I can't remember what the term is. It's dealing with your license plates. This is just taking something that is a major problem, stunt driving specifically, and adding it to the list of things that can be investigated or charged on private property. It makes sense. People are doing silly things, and the potential to hurt folks is high. So that's why the addition of that particular charge has been added to the private property. But it's not unheard of, having having laws enforceable on private property. Is it legal for license plate on dashboard? No, it's not. It has to be on the front of the vehicle in Ontario and the back of the vehicle, and the back one has to be lit. You have to illuminate with at least 3 candela of power. Why is sound matter? It's not hurting people. Jacob, you like the sound, but nobody else does. So is it hurting them and causing them to not enjoy life? Potentially. And the complaints that we get that are people are being woken up on the highway. I don't know if you can appreciate how loud and how disruptive it is to the community, because obviously you like it. So it is hurting the community, because they're entitled to having peace and enjoyment of their property and the environment, and you're interrupting it. It's noise pollution.
If I have one sticker on my license plate, like one of the letters that are peeling off, can I still drive the car?
So technically, you're in violation. The plate's not properly legible. It's not meeting the standard. It's damaged. You need to get it replaced, and you can do that usually under warranty. If not under warranty, for a nominal fee. If you take it to the ministry, and you can do that even now. There's no restriction. You can go in. Originally there was an incentive or a reason. They didn't want people to come in and risk their safety or their health. At this point, and actually throughout the pandemic, they've been open for essential services, so you can go and get that replaced to avoid tickets. Now, are we focused on going after everybody who has a peeled plate? No, that's not the highest priority. We're looking for the big four. That's the behaviors that lead to serious injury and death on our roadways. Speeding, aggressive driving, distracted driving, and impaired driving. Is a plate something you could be charged for? Absolutely. We have a LinkedIn question. Nelson DaCosta. Good morning. Dash cam footage of aggressive driving can be submitted to a police service. It can. And by the way, good to see you, Nelson. Long time no talk. Yeah, you can submit that. You can, on the Toronto Police portal, go into the core. So it's www.torontopolice.on.ca/core, CORE. I believe it's all uppercase for core, but you can find it through the main page. On there, you can report either general community concerns for an area, or you can report a specific vehicle from that's doing something. Now, will someone be charged? Likely not, but it definitely will add a time, date, and location to behavior. It may result in increased enforcement, and it may, because it is a police report, will be attached to that license plate. So in the event that they're pulled over for an unrelated event, may be now connected to the original event, and at very least will potentially show a pattern of behavior. So awesome. Thank you for asking the question. And I think you're the first person to ask a question on LinkedIn. So, that's cool. You get a medal. Dan wants to know, what is this? When at a red light and traffic is blocking a fire station exit, what is the fine? Oh, we had this last week, and Q, you had an answer. It's quite significant. There's a minor parking. If it's parking, it's quite minor. But if you're truly blocking the fire station, fines can be quite exorbitant. I believe in the thousands. But I don't know, Q, if you still have that. Up to $100,000, according to Q, who has a relative in the fire service who gave her that information. I've not looked up that section, but my understanding is that that is very interesting. Well, it is interesting. But I think the parking fine is very low. It's like $60. Mark says, if there's a sign saying "Do not block," it's disobey sign, $110, 2 to 3 points. Yeah, for the HTA sign, but I think there's an additional offense because of the block. Yeah, I got to do some more research on that, but that's the information coming from the firehouse. Okay, why does Ontario have 2 license plates but not Quebec? Because they chose to. Quebec's had one license plate forever. There was a discussion to reduce our plates to one because the Ford government came in and said, how do we save money? And they said, let's get rid of license plates. So it went to the Ontario Chiefs of Police Association. They had a discussion about it, and ultimately it was determined that for public safety, they're going to keep 2 plates because ultimately you double the chances of identifying a vehicle that's being looked for. Think about Amber Alerts. We want to find a child who's in danger. So if we can see it coming and going, it's twice the chances of identifying that vehicle. So it's for public safety. Let's see here. Please, folks in the chat, understand there's some spamming going on. Please don't do it. Our moderators will block you or at least mute you, and we don't want to do that. So we want to keep it classy, and it works better when we're all getting along. Let's see here. Charged for impaired driving on a lawnmower on private property. Technically speaking, a lawnmower is a motor vehicle. It's anything other than muscular power, I suppose. Could it be? I suppose it could be. Now, at the end of the day, we're probably not going out to your backyard looking for someone who's driving on there. But if it came to it, I think you could. I mean, an assisted device, a motor scooter, mobility scooter. Technically, you can charge for impaired driving. An e-bike is a motor vehicle under the criminal code, while not a motor vehicle under the Highway Traffic Act. And since it's a criminal offense, you can lay the charge for impaired driving. Can I drive in a carpool lane with a baby in the car? Yes, you can. Babies are people. You can use the HOV lane if it says 2 or more and you've got a baby on board. You can make sure that the officer sees the baby when they pull you over, because often they don't see the child. Let them know. Okay. Nova Scotia has the E-plate. The one E-plate? Oh, one plate. Yeah, a lot of places, and a lot of states, they're single plates. New York City has 2 plates, I think. They have 2 plates? I'm pretty sure they have 2 plates. Okay. Let's see here. Is the highway impound zone 40 or 50 over? So the deal is that as of September 12, 2021, the HTA was amended to include some new provisions, and that is if you are driving on a street or highway, any street is a highway, and the speed limit is under 80 kilometers an hour, the speed that you must exceed it in order to trigger stunt driving is 40 over. So if you're driving in a 60 and you're doing 100, that is stunt driving. If you are on a road that has a speed limit 80 or over, you must exceed the speed limit by 50. Additionally, if you are going 150 kilometers an hour anywhere, regardless of speed limit, that is stunt driving. So if you're on a highway that's 110 kilometers an hour and you're doing 150, that is 40 over. That is stunt driving. Okay. Let's see here. Here we go. Jeremy Blankstein says, is it Stein or Steen? Am I making a mistake? Okay, either way. Jeremy, I've seen a lot of e-scooters on the sidewalks. Can they be charged? So e-scooters are not permitted in the city of Toronto anywhere, not just, now e-scooters, do you mean e-kick scooters or the motorcycle, bicycle style? I'm assuming you mean the kick scooter. So they're prohibited from use anywhere in Toronto. It's a bylaw. They're not permitted. There's a provincial pilot that's in place that makes them legal for use in areas that adopted them. Toronto's not one of those places, so you cannot use it here. I think it's a $60 offense. There's additional, if their behavior is, motorcycle style. Okay, just an update from Jeremy. Yeah, those are totally prohibited. That's again, no bicycles allowed on sidewalks, and specifically not e-bikes or motorcycle style e-scooters, not permitted. Now, if they're just getting off the road and they're parking it on the sidewalk, which you're not allowed to do either, is that riding? Potentially. If they're getting in the way of and obstructing pedestrians, is it a problem? Yeah. End of the day, they're not allowed. So, but e-scooters are not allowed anywhere. Or e-kick scooters are not allowed anywhere. E-bikes, scooter style inclusive, are allowed in certain areas and not in others. But sidewalks are definitely one of the ones you cannot. If you move province, can you use Ontario license? If you move, you will likely need to change in short order. So if you move to Ontario, you have to take your provincial license from wherever you are from and exchange it within 30 days. If you're moving to another province, it's likely the same. You cannot continuously drive if you've become a resident of another province. You cannot continue to drive on your Ontario license. But the prescribed amount of time that you need to make the adjustment could vary from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. In Ontario, it's 30 days. People who call on loud cars are just sad. No, people who call on loud cars have a right to peace and enjoyment and sleep. So if they're calling because you're obstructing or creating a noisy environment and you're keeping them up at night and you're causing an issue for their kids or it's noisy, they're entitled. Not because they're untitled without justification. They're literally entitled to call. And if you are causing problems for other people, then you're the bad guy, not them. If you're 100% stopped on the 401, is a phone okay? No, it's not. You have to be legally parked. Legally parked means in a parking spot where you would not get a parking ticket. Even on the sidewalk, even on the, what am I thinking here? The shoulder is not a legal parking space. You can be charged for parking on the King's Highway if you are on the shoulder, so that is not a legal place to use the phone. So you can't pull over to have a call with mom. You can, however, use your phone anywhere for an emergency. And when I say emergency, I mean calling 911. So if you're calling 911, that's acceptable. Let's see here. Ryan Pinn says, I think it's 90 days is that for Nova Scotia? Interesting. Yeah, 30 days if you're moving to Nova Scotia. Cool. Fine for not stopping for an emergency vehicle. So pulling over, I think it's like 490?
Yeah.
496 points?
490
Yeah. $490 and 6 demerit points for not pulling over and stopping for an emergency vehicle. How? 3 points? Oh my goodness, it's a discount. You're only getting three demerit points. Okay, so that's an update from Brandon. So 490 and 3 demerit points for not pulling over and stopping at the nearest curb for a emergency vehicle. However, for a police vehicle, when you fail to stop and you're the one who's being stopped, that's a pursuit, and that starts getting more serious. It's an escalating situation. 5-point harnesses and quick release steering wheels. Both are not legal. You can't take out your airbag to replace your steering wheel with an alternate non-airbag steering wheel. Additionally, if you put a quick release steering wheel in, my understanding those are completely unsafe, and for good reason. They can come off. Bad deal. Additionally, your 5-point harness is not covered. You need to have your OEM one. You can put a 5-point harness in. It's no problem as long as you don't interrupt or alter the factory seatbelt. And if you were going to drive around, you got to put that OEM steering. I keep wanting to say steering wheel. That OEM seatbelt on top of your 5-point, because that's the one that's legally covered. Additionally, most 5-point harnesses aren't installed properly. If you bought it on Amazon, it's not going to cut it. We've talked to race professionals who say unless you are put in there and glued to your seat through proper literally installation of you. So aside from the fact that the seatbelt has to be, the harness has to be installed correctly, when you're put into it, you usually need a race pit crew to strap you down, because you yourself probably won't get it done right. Additionally, they're intended to be used with a helmet, with a tether, and a roll cage, not in your personal vehicle. So what's safe for tracks is not safe for the road. One other thing, emergency services personnel are not looking for a 5-point harnesses when they're trying to cut you out of the car that someone has wrecked. Let's see here. Mark Anthony wants to know, why would anyone want to remove their airbag? Mark, I have no idea. It is part of a seatbelt restraint system that works great together, not so much when you take it out. Does not help you when it's out. Nelson following up with a, let's see here, asking for a friend. Our yellow speed limit sign suggestions. Keep up with the great work with the program. Thanks so much, Nelson. Speed limit signs that are yellow on a ramp situation are cautionary. They're designed to tell you the appropriate speed for sticking to the road instead of sliding off of it. And but if it's the ones in a construction site, those are enforceable, especially when workers are present. So yeah, don't ignore those. And just for the 280 people in the room right now, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police constable with the Toronto Police Service here in Ontario, Canada, and I come out to TikTok to answer your traffic and police questions. If you've got questions, throw them in the comments below. Now, comments specifically will go into the chat. Oh, hey, Pixels on YouTube. That's Q's new puppy. So if you're also watching, you have the alternate option. You can be on TikTok, or you could also be following on Twitch, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, places we are currently streaming live. And our question and answer is working there as well. If you drop your questions on TikTok, though, into the Q&A, that gets to me specifically, whereas the chat will likely be intercepted by one of our moderators. They're a magical group of folks who come and volunteer to help us out and keep the answers flowing. Neon wants you to double tap that screen on TikTok so that you show the rest of TikTok that we're having fun in here and we're doing good stuff. It helps advertise live to everybody else out there. What is this? what's the fine for not moving over? Oh, we covered that. Great question, Mark Anthony. There we go. Okay. Okay, Mark. Apparently, okay. Mark likes the puppy. Okay. Let's see here. Has anyone asked? Oh my goodness, the safe driver, who I plugged, by the way, this morning on our TikTok that we posted, talking about can you use your backup camera and all your cruise control while you're on your driving test? So I'll let you watch the video and ask the safe driver for the definitive answer. But yeah. So no one's asked about tint yet. So so thanks a lot. So do you actually want an answer? I don't know. This is the harassment question. The big thing about tint is that regardless of what your tint is, if it's dark and we can't see inside, it's a problem and you can't be charged. But for getting your safety done, 30% light blockage for the front windows that are directly left and right of the driver. The front windshield cannot be tinted, and the rear windows can be as dark as you like. Okay. What do we, and it's okay. And Q, I would be Q will not let me live it down if I don't talk about the brow. If your vehicle was manufactured in 2016 or prior, then you can have a 3-inch brow, or to the PS1 line, whatever happens first. So maximum 3 inches, or the PS1 line. It's a brow across the top, also known as a sun strip. Yeah. Okay, Dylan wants to know if you have to pull over for an emergency vehicle if they are on a divided road. People always pulling over on the opposite side. So on a divided road, that's one with a concrete barrier or a grassy knoll. No, the opposing side does not need to pull over. It is only an undivided road that everyone has to pull over. And Ryan Pinn wants to add that SRS airbags, when used with seatbelts, reduce the risk of death by a significant amount. Yeah, we really want people to not mess with their seatbelt restraint system, because seatbelts on their own, well, they're better than not having them. But when used in conjunction with the airbag, that's really where the magic happens. It's where we see people's lives saved. And customizing your car is great. And we want you to be individuals, but we want you to be safe. That's the priority. Let's see here. Someone's speeding on my site. Come get him. What site? Where are you? Let's see here. Just missed my court date, and my court was adjourned. Okay, if it was adjourned to another date and you were notified, great. But very often when you miss your court, you're found, you're simply found guilty. So knowing what the outcome of your case is important. Okay. Oh, here's a good question. Two-lane right turn at red, can both lanes turn right? So this is when you come off a highway more often than not. You come off a highway and there's a multitude of lanes there. 2 of them are designated as right turn lanes. It's a red light, can both make a right turn on red. I grew up thinking you couldn't. I grew up thinking that only the curb lane could. I was wrong. And I was amazed to find out that both lanes can in fact make a right turn on red, assuming it's safe to do so. That's the caveat. That's the catch-all. So when you make that right turn, not only do you have to do it in safety when it's safe to do so, you have to turn into the appropriate lane. So the farmost lane would turn into the farmost right turn lane on the main road, and the next one over moves over to the next lane over. That would be a proper right turn. So cool question. Thanks for asking. Let's see here. Hey, this is a great question. Where can I get more information on being hired as an officer? Well, if you want to be hired as a Toronto police officer, best source of information is going to be www.torontopolice.on.ca/careers. They've got everything you ever want to know about becoming a police officer with the Toronto Police Service right there. If you want to be a member of any other police service, I would check the respective sites. There's also information that will link you over to standards of testing. Things have changed a little bit over the last little while, but not so crazy that you wouldn't be able to get a good base there. Now, again, with Toronto Police, once you've done your research and you think you're ready to go to the next level, talk to a recruiter when you've got questions that are yet to be answered on the website. So you get everything you can possibly get and move forward. And thank you to Q, who has so graciously put the link on the screen for the website. Okay. Let's see here. Question is, avoiding potholes. Served a ticket for swerving. Yeah, if you're swerving and you're causing a problem by swerving, Swerving at speed is not safe. So slowing down, mild adjustments are okay. But if you're swerving out of control, it really depends on. I don't know enough about why you were given a ticket as to and what your actual activity was or what it looked like. But yeah, you can't be all over the road, even if there's a pothole. That's why you have suspension. And if you've done things to modify your car that your suspension doesn't work, that's a problem with your car. The average car can go over a pothole and survive. That's not to say you want to aim for them, but yeah, it's a thing. Let's see here. Toronto Post. Mark says that the Toronto Police posting closed and will be back on November 8th. Oh, no kidding. I did see a notice about that, but the information should still be there for everything you want to know about how to apply when it reopens. Can I pass on a solid yellow line if it appears safe? If you're wrong, you're responsible. Is there a ticket for passing on a yellow line? No. The yellow line means that the traffic on the other side is going in the opposite direction. It also means it's not suggested. So you shouldn't do it. And if you do it and your estimation as to what's safe is incorrect, you are going to be responsible for that collision. You're going to be responsible anyway, but you're even more so because the evidence will be that it was a yellow line. Okay. Okay. Rules for tires sticking out from fenders. So it's been my understanding that they're improper when they do that. I've had a discussion with someone today, and we're looking into the deep dive as to, is it always improper? Maybe not. Maybe it's only when raining. So I'm going to do some research and I'm going to do a video about it because it was my understanding it was always improper if not protected by a fender because of their inability to prevent the rooster tails and whatnot. But it may in fact be only when raining. So whether you're charged. So more on that to come. Do dash cams help as evidence? I think everybody should have a dash cam. A video is the best evidence that you can provide. Whether it helps you or hurts you, it remains to be seen because sometimes it'll be evidence that you did something wrong. But it is the best evidence that you can provide because in an absence of witnesses, who do you turn to? I said something, they said something. Well, who do we believe? Well, video. It's really, really good. Let's see here. Rules on lowered cars. They can't be so low that your suspension is not functional. You can't have any body or frame contact with the tire when you turn lock to lock. That's generally it. Okay. There may be some other caveats, but that's the basics. Talks about making dash cams mandatory in new cars. That would be very cool. Thanks for sharing that, Denver.
You drink. Yeah, me ask.
Okay.
I got a ticket in 2020 and I filed it in court, but nothing came of it. Will it be off record by next year?
You filed it in court, but nothing came of it. So you filed for defense, but you haven't received a date. Follow up with the courthouse because things have been delayed tremendously due to the COVID. Excuse me. So that is, sorry, I coughed in Q's ear. You follow up with them because there may be things pending still, maybe delays. So I wouldn't assume that it's just taken care of. I'd look into it, make phone calls to the local courts. If you go to www.toronto.ca, there's a section to get in contact with courts. How much insurance go up for 10 kilometers over? I don't know. You need to talk to your insurance company. It is possible that they would recategorize you, but it depends. Every company has their own way of dealing with things. If it's your only ticket, you may have your first one free. Talk to your insurance company. Okay. Mark Anthony has some questions, and that is in regards to buses. What's the requirement charge for yielding to a TTC bus pulling out of a bus stop? Toronto Police. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Somewhere I have a phone. So it's under actually, I don't even know if I have it on my phone. There is. Wants to know if you use your, well, that's loud. I can't remember the charge. Brandon, TTC bus, failed to yield for a TTC bus. Brandon's going to look it up, and I won't be able to do that next week because he won't be here anymore. How long does a stunt driving record? Oh, I forgot. Oh, sorry. Let me finish up with Chrome. Can I Chrome my car? I'm not aware of it being illegal. However, you do have to update your ownership with the ministry as a color change. I don't think tint is. I don't think the reflective body wrap is a problem. Reflective tint, however, is illegal. You can't prevent or obscure the interior of your vehicle with reflective tint. Let's see here. And while Brandon continues to look up for bus stuff, you get pulled over for going 10 kilometers over the speed limit. Can you be pulled over? Absolutely, you can be pulled over. You can be pulled over for going 1 kilometer over the speed limit. It doesn't happen very often, or ever, that I'm aware of. 1 kilometer, how would you, not give someone that 1 kilometer? But technically, if you're in excess of the speed limit, you could be charged, not just pulled over. Okay. Neon is one of our moderators. He works nights, so he is going to bed. Says take care. Okay. It is failed to yield for bus re-entering from bus bay, $110. Does it have any points? He's looking that up too. But $110, that's a pretty average number for fines. Judicol has to go to work. He's bailing now too. Thanks for all your help, Judicol and Neon. 0 points apparently. Interesting. For failing to yield for a bus. That's very interesting, because most yielding is it's a moving violation. They usually include points. Are they still allowing no sticker COVID thing? So the deal is that if you have not renewed your sticker and your sticker expired March 2020 or later, you are extended until February 28th. That's not to say you can't go in right now or online to renew your plates, but there is an extension in place until February 28th, 2022, so a few more months yet. Mark says it's very interesting because not many people yield. Yeah, it is a problem. We see it all the time, and I go over the top to ensure that I not only yield but make sure the bus driver knows that I'm yielding, high beam or give a tap on the horn to say, hey, you can go. I'm actually stopping for you, because they seem so shocked. Let's see here. Oh, so Brandon just adding on for good measure that if you approach open streetcar doors too closely, it's a $110 fine. That one does have points. See, I would have thought they'd both have points. Okay. When will enforcing suspended licenses? I'm looking for the other half of your question. I don't see it. We'll come back to you if we can see the rest of your question. Okay. How long will a stunt driving record stay on your license? Your convictions in your record stay on for 3 years. Their merit points stay on for 2 years. And the long form history, like if you're going to go be a truck driver and you need to bring your abstract, it's going to show your entire record. If you want to be a police officer, they never really go away. They're just not a part of your current, so third parties can't look at them. Oh, okay. Where does money go for tickets? Goes through the courts into the city, is my understanding. I've never actually looked into who gets what, but I'm sure it's a losing proposition. So you pay a police officer, you pay the judge or JP, you pay the prosecutor, you pay for the lights. By the time everything's done, I don't think that they're making money. Let's see here.
You mean you don't get commission off of it?
I do not get commission. I've never been given a free toaster. I've never even been given a party for getting tickets. And I do like writing tickets. And I say that I don't write tickets because I enjoy it from personal satisfaction of hurting somebody's or ruining somebody's day for giving them a ticket. I do, however, enjoy the fact that I may change the behavior of a driver, and in doing so, I might save a life. Because the whole idea behind giving a ticket is to change behavior. If I can change the way you drive, then maybe you won't end up in a situation where you are either responsible for killing somebody or being hurt yourself. And we had some unfortunate collisions. A number of people lost their lives yesterday due to collisions. So it's happening every day. Not necessarily every day in Toronto, but every day worldwide, and certainly we do get a fair share in Toronto as well.
You drink, I ask.
Okay.
What are some suggestions that you could have for women who are like traveling at nighttime for self-protection or self-defense?
Oh, what is a good boy? That's outside of my my traffic regular. Okay, so aside from let people know where you are, try and be in well-lit areas. I know many people will walk while connected to a phone talking to other people. I've had people suggest that they've had keys in their hand or air horn, or there's so many things. I'm not a specialist on this, and I don't have the best options. I know that having your phone and being ready to dial SOS that's pre-programmed is a great piece of advice. Q, what do you think? Being a woman, would you have suggestions for others?
I normally, when traveling through places that I'm not very familiar with, I'm actively on the phone or have a live location sent out to a trusted source, like family members, close friends. Like you mentioned before, the SOS programmed into my phone, it's like a quick three tap of my phone, sending something out saying, "Hey, I need help," and it connected to 911 would always be highly suggested for females. But if you're talking about physical things, people are always walking around with keys in their hands or a pen.
Yeah, because those could be used as a weapon of opportunity in the event of something happening. Um, I have an Apple Watch. My Apple Watch can be pressed and get an emergency call off to police with a GPS location of where I am. Even if you fall down with an Apple Watch, it's a good. It does the same thing as fall protection or fall notification. So it's really a difficult thing. There's no answer that just makes you safe. It's so many different things to think about, and being alert, not being focused on texting and walking and talking, being aware of your surroundings. That's possibly your best advice is to be aware, because then you can react. Yeah, don't TikTok while you're walking, and I mean that's for anybody, male, female, it doesn't matter, anybody, and especially just because you don't want to get hit by a car. Uh, oh, this is the compliment of compliments. I am. PJ Jilly, I don't know how to pronounce your username. I don't know where I should add the space or pause, but apparently I am their favorite officer in the whole wide world. Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to be your favorite officer. What is the biggest ticket you've ever written? I don't know. I mean, I've obviously written some stunt driving or a lot of stunt driving charges. But if you talk about arrests, not tickets, yeah, what's cost somebody the most money is probably the impaired driving arrests I've made, because those tend to cost people $15,000 to $20,000 to defend. So not to mention the insurance increases. And so in terms of what's hurt their pocketbook, probably the arrest for impaired driving. Equally, the stunt driving probably hurt them long term for insurance purposes as well. But these are all things that are behavior based. I don't choose to violate the law. They do, so it's on them. They wrote the ticket. I just made notes. They caused the ticket. Let's see here.
As a motorcycle rider, what are your thoughts on lane splitting and riding up in between the lines to wave up another driver because the lights can't sense you?
So in terms of getting up to the front and having somebody waved up, I used to do that all the time. Not that I went through traffic to get there, but certainly waving people up so that the sensor will get triggered. I used to do that all the time, because just generally speaking, small motorcycles don't always trigger, and some sensors aren't very sensitive. So from that perspective, it's good. Lane splitting, it's not really safe. And in wider environments, in places like LA, where it's legal, they have wide lanes. We do not have wide lanes. We also have drivers that are not used to it, and it's just dangerous. Do I think it could be great in certain environments? Yeah, I'd love to see it if it was legal and if the roads could accommodate it safely. What we tend to see is people who just drive up between cars. It's very, very close, and the sad thing is it leads to collision often, or damage, minor, which is collision. But we got to make sure as riders, we have to be protecting ourselves and not putting ourselves in situations where we're going to increase risk. So that's a thing. Two things. One, what3words.com is a great app that we actually use with our communication services. They will tell you, when you call up and you want to say, "Where are you?" You can use What 3 Words, which will actually give you a 3-word answer to that question of what 3 words. So you can provide anybody in the world your location down to, I think, a 1 meter square. Check it out, what3words.com, and it's free. There's an app for it as well. And if you wanted to give a location and didn't know where you were, and down to a meter, not just streets, you could use that to tell. 3 meters. Thank you, Q, for this for specifying. It's 3 meters, not 1 meter. Question from the 905 guy: if you call 911 from a cell phone, is your location given? I don't think that it'll give you a specific location. I don't think it's reporting GPS. The technology's in the system. I don't think our towers support it. That's me geeking out and reading about the Ericsson towers years ago. If you, it may have been updated since then. I don't think it currently does give you exact location. It'll do triangulation and cell tower approximation, but not for specific location. Let's see here. Christina Black says, hello from Spain, Mr. Agent. How are you? I'm doing well. And Christina is coming in from Twitch. That's awesome. Thanks for coming in and saying hello. Hope Spain is treating you well. Let's see here. JV says, thanks for sharing everything. God bless you and bless you back. It's always nice when we get some blessings. Let's see here. I want to see if we've got anything that's really out that we have not covered, as we get towards winding down. Also, if you don't already follow us, please do. We go live most weekdays. We'll be live again tomorrow at 9 o'clock for an hour and answering your traffic and police questions. So follow us if you don't follow us, and come back and see us soon, because we do this on a regular basis. It is our way. Oh, am I retired? Who wants to know if I'm retired? I am not retired. I'm an active duty police officer. I am sitting in a police station. I am not retired. I think I'm old enough to retire. I'm not old enough to retire. I'm getting there, but I'm not. I have 12 years to go. I'm not going anywhere. At least 12 years to go, if not longer. Well, I think I'll get out of here when I'm 70. my account 918. That okay. I'm gonna remember you. Okay. Let's see here. When will the be enforcing suspended licenses? We do enforce. If you're suspended and you're caught, you're charged. I don't know another way to enforce suspended driving. They have to be driving and caught driving. Okay. Can I drive my... Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry,
No,
where is
no.
Brandon going to? Why is he leaving us?
Why is Brandon Brandon came through on a 6-month spot. So we have a training spot here. So police constables who are we'll back up. When you get hired as a police constable, you start off as a 4th class constable, and every 12 to 14, is it 14 months? He's concentrating. I think it's 14 months.
Every 12, you get bumped.
Okay, so every 12 months you get up your you get evaluated, and you make your next grade increase. So you go from 4th class, 3rd class, 2nd class, 1st class. As a 1st class constable, you've hit your primary, as high as you go in that rank. During your training, you can do training spots, or you should do training spots to become a generalist constable, which means you've worked in a investigative spot, you've worked in a community, or what is it called? What is the tag that you get here now?
Neighborhood officer, community policing crew.
I was looking for a different tag word, but essentially working with the community, and you get a tick for that. And as you accumulate these, you become a constable generalist. So we have a training spot so people can come through this office and get a tick and get some exposure into something different in policing. It's all part of it. We're always training. We're always developing. And this is a developmental position within traffic services. So is our CIB, Criminal Investigation Bureau. So he's here, and then he's going. And then somebody else will come in, and so on and so forth. And we got lots of changes. Lots and lots of stuff happening. It's exciting. We're sorry to see him go. We like him, but he'll come back. He'll visit. Okay. Mark, where is Brandon ditching us to go? Okay.
Okay, I phrased it better.
Yes. Definitely ditching us. Mind you, I do think he's ditching us. He could have said, no, I don't want to go. I want to stay. But no, he wants to go do, frontline policing and investigate. He's actually, it's good. It's good to try different things. We are a career that has many opportunities. He could go on and become a tactical officer one day. He might have interest in that. Can I drive a car from New York if my driver's license is a G? So if you're going to New York, there's some very specific things. If you're driving an American car that belongs to an American and you're driving it around here, no, you can't. You can't drive here full-time a car that belongs to an American that's registered in the United States. There's some issues with taxation there. The RCMP can seize your car, can fine you, and fine the owner, and there's a whole bunch of things that can happen. investigated a car that was being used here, was registered in Florida, being used here by the owner's father for long-term use. That car, I think, had like the option was to pay like a $35,000 fine, or to have it towed to the border and pay a fine. It's a huge problem. Can you go to the corner store? Is it reasonable to go to the corner store driving a car that's registered to an American? Potentially. It really depends on the situation. It's generally speaking, you're not permitted to. Can an American drive a car here? Yes, they can. They can rent cars and borrow cars while they're here. It's different. It's all about circumventing taxation. You can't do that. Will says, let's add up to 200,000 K by Christmas. We can do it. Yeah, we're getting close. We are really approaching 200,000 followers, and in Q's retirement, as she so regularly warns us. Or is it threatening? I'm not sure.
Notifying.
Notifying. Can I drive an American's car if the person is here? If they're in the car, not a problem. But they can't leave the car here for you and let you drive an American car, essentially bypassing the importation situation. So the example that I was once given by an RCMP staff sergeant was, if your car is in the driveway and the car behind it is the American's car and you're just going to get milk, that could be reasonable. But if you're driving it to work and commuting in it, no, it's not. So it's very specific. It's not very specific, but it's basically you can't just have an American car here for use. Yeah. Okay. Holy moly, what is this? 70 minus 12 equals 58, 42 away. What? I don't know what we're calculating here.
Talking about your age.
Oh, okay. 42 year. So I'm 42, potentially 40, 58. What are we talking about? 58. I don't know. Yeah, I'm 47, not 58. I got. Is that what we're talking about? What is your approximate? 42 years. I'm not working for 42 more years. Working to 100, that would be. I don't think no, I don't think that. 100-year-old police officer would be bad. Although if I'm having fun, maybe. In the States, I thought there were some 80, 90-year-old officers. Let's see here. Why do they block your cell for 2 hours? I don't know what we're talking about here.
After they call 911, apparently they're claiming that their cell was blocked for 2 hours.
I'm not aware of anything like that at all. If you hang up on 911 on emergency calls, they'll call you back, but I'm not aware of any block or issue. Yeah, I'm not aware of any ability to block. So I don't know what that is, but I'd be curious to know what happened to you and get more information, because that's very interesting. If my car gets hit by an animal, what to do? Well, usually you hit the animal, they don't hit the animal, but there's not much to do. If it's drivable, you drive it. If it's a problem, it's not drivable, call the police. A moose, it's not going anywhere if you hit a moose, and you're going to the hospital if you hit a moose. Yeah. Will an auto shop report you for illegal modifications? But they could. They could. I don't know if they do. That would be up to them. There's no obligation that I'm aware of that would force them to. But if you've got a dangerous vehicle and you're not willing to fix it, maybe they would. They could report it like anybody else could. Aftermarket exhaust system illegal? If the system is illegal, it's illegal. If the aftermarket system conforms to legal requirements and it's safe and meets the emission standards, then it should be safe. If it's super loud, it could be illegal. Because again, aftermarket doesn't mean loud; it just means not made, purchased after the vehicle, whether it be made by the same manufacturer or aftermarket would likely be from a different manufacturer. Okay, getting 5% tint today all around. Will the cops care? In Ontario, we will. If you prevent us from seeing inside your vehicle, you're obscuring the entire interior of your vehicle. If we can't identify you, that's a good stop. It's a good ticket. I believe it's $110 for that. No points that I'm aware of. In any case, it's not a good idea. You will likely be pulled over more often than not. If there's no speed sign, what speed do we assume? Well, in the city of Toronto, we have a sign as you enter the city telling you what the unsigned speed is. But very often, the rule used to be 50 and 80. So if it's an unsigned, local street, it's 50. If it's an unsigned highway, it's 80. I believe our unsigned is now 40 as you enter the city of Toronto. I think 40 is the unsigned. But check your signs when you enter a city; they will tell you. Has someone you pulled over recognized you from TikTok? I've been recognized a lot from TikTok, oddly enough. Restaurants, and when I've been traveling, I went to the police college. I went to London, had a dinner at a great steak place. I ran into the owner of the steak place who said, "Hey, I watch you." So it was really cool. Have I pulled anybody over? No, because I don't pull anybody over right now. I'm in administrative duties. I'm inside the office doing stuff like this, social media engagement, appearing on radio shows, developing educational content, but I'm not actually on the road pulling people over. But I imagine at some point I will be, and at some point I will be recognized. And I've already had people asking, I watch your show. I'm a follower. Please don't give me a ticket. No guarantees. Folks, it has been a blast. If you don't already follow us, please do. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. doing it all again. Q, anything to add besides I need to drink water?
I was just proving to Mark Anthony that people do read signs. Don't choke.
Yes. Yeah, signs are real. Awesome. Well, it has been a blast. We are signing off for the day. We will post some content later on. But until tomorrow, be safe and see you then. You're not saying bye today? Oh, you
What?
can. There you go. Okay, I was waiting for your bye TikTok.
Bye, TikTok.
And Sergeant Campbell's in the background if you see him waving underneath the microphone. Okay, here we go. We're gone. And we're gone on TikTok, but we are not gone on YouTube. Let's see here. Anything that we missed that we just a quick shout out. Thanks for everyone on the other platforms other than TikTok who have come in and spent time with us. So Christina Black, Mark Anthony, and Ryan Pinn. Much appreciate your involvement is much appreciated. Dylan, did we cover you? Do you have to pull over for emergency? Yeah, we covered your question. I think we're good. And Pixel made an appearance. Yeah, we're almost at 183,000 followers on TikTok. Isn't that wild? That's wild.
I missed the stats just now. I'm sorry.
You missed them?
Yeah,
6,346 people through the room. Let's see here. Hitting analytics. We had a max room of 476. Total views 7,329. That's not bad. That's pretty cool. And of course we have our solid base here that comes out and enjoys us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, and LinkedIn. We had our very first LinkedIn question today. That was pretty cool from an old friend, and that I haven't seen in a long time, but that's really cool. So with that, we'll sign off. And I forgot to turn off the overlay of the. Look at that. It doesn't even make sense with the Toronto Police logo covering up the top right hand. Oh well, I missed it. Next time we'll do better. We'll always do better next time. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye.